Hello, we've got a call here from Ryan. He's going to be talking about the number of the beast, 666, and why he thinks that that is some evidence for the reality of an actual beast. Biblical, obviously, in Revelation. Just before that, I want to announce that on Clubhouse, I personally have got a room there called the Antichrist Lair. I'm hosting an event on that room tomorrow evening, Tuesday, 10 o'clock in the evening, UK time. And the subject on that event is hard atheism versus weak atheism. It's going to last 1 hour. If you're interested in coming and listening or even participating, I'll be delighted to see you there. Okay, so let's go on. We've got Ryan. He has presented an argument whereby effectively he said to Matt that the reason that 2/3 is significant, or 666, or like 0.666, is that it does not convert into a fraction. So it's like a sort of irrational number. It goes on forever, and I can't quite get the connection in logic here. So let's have a bit of a listen and see if we can get to the bottom of it.
The number of the beast represents the lie, or a lie. So that number 2/3, because it can never be represented in decimal format, if you attempt to represent it in decimal format, it will always represent a lie. So I guess what we're getting at here is...
Wait. Okay, you just said if we take that and we represent it in decimal format, it will only represent a lie, right? Because it's never ending, correct?
Yes.
What is God's number?
God's number is 1.
Okay. What is 1/3 in decimal form?
1/3 is 0.3 reoccurring.
Okay. What is 0.3 recurring times 3 in decimal form?
It's going to be 0.9 reoccurring.
Which is what else? What else is that number?
That number is not 1.
Yes, oh my God. Yes, it is. That is a mathematically proven fact. 0.9 repeating is the number 1. It absolutely. Okay.
But it also doesn't matter because you're stop.
I listened to Matt speak a little bit earlier.
Stop. You are making an argument that the number of the beast as represented in the Bible is 666, and it represents a lie. And then this lie with 2/3 is 0.66666 repeating, which can never be represented decimal, so it's representing a lie. You are constructing all of this based on beginning with the notion that there is a number of the beast that is 666, because everything that you said in your argument is also true for 333. If the Bible said that 333 was the number of the beast, you would be calling in to say, hey, what do you guys think of 1/3? Because the number of the beast is 333, and 1/3 can't be represented as a decimal without it being a lie. What specifically about 2/3 that is not true of 1/3 or other irrational numbers is going to lead someone to conclude that this is the number of the beast? Last time I'm asking.
Yeah, so the number of the beast represents a lie. We know that the number 1 is
you're not listening and you're not answering. And no, Ryan, I don't want to hear another word from you today. Because I asked a very specific question. You don't get to begin with what the Bible says. You can begin with the number, and then you show me how someone could reasonably conclude that's the number of the beast. And you won't do that. Why won't you do that?
Honestly, Matt, I'm not sure if I understand the question. Maybe if you rephrase it differently, I'm going to honestly try to answer it as honestly as I can.
Fine. Let's imagine that the Bible said 333 is the number of the beast. Would you be calling in about how 1/3 represents a lie because it can't be represented in decimal form, and therefore it points to the number of the beast?
So to answer truthfully, I believe that we're looking at a mathematical truth here, and the reason why it ended up in the Bible is because it's a mathematical
truth. Ryan.
I don't believe
that. Goodbye. I'm tired of doing all the heavy lifting in this conversation. I gave you 25,000 opportunities to correct this, but you won't.
I honestly have no idea what you want me to do, Matt.
Toss out the Bible There is no Bible. There is no reason for anyone to know what the Bible says about anything. What about the fact of 2/3 would lead anyone to conclude that it is in fact the number of the beast?
Because it's impossible to represent it decimally. It's a lie in that sense.
Why is that not also true for 1/3?
There's going to be a significance in that. To be perfectly honest, I know you told me to throw out the Bible.
Shut up.
I know you told me to throw out the Bible, man.
Shut up and listen. What you just said about 2/3, that it's impossible to be represented decimally, is that not also true for 1/3?
Yeah, I agree that it's true for 1/3 as well. I believe these numbers are related to each other.
Matt,
1/3?
Stop. I'm asking you questions. Answer only the fucking question I asked, or I will drop you like a hot rock. I'm trying to get you past your confusion. You said that because 666 can't be represented as a decimal, that would lead someone to conclude it's the number of the beast. But that's also true for 0.33333. Why doesn't that lead someone to conclude that 0.333 repeating is the number of the beast? What is specific and unique about 2/3 that does not apply to 1/3? Why would someone looking at 1/3 and 2/3 and seeing that neither of them can be represented decimally conclude that 666 is the number of the beast and 333 is not? That's the question.
I'm looking for the answers as well, Matt. Now, I don't have all the answers. I know the numbers are connected. Now, I want to bounce this idea off you.
No, sir.
In the Bible.
No, sir. You are done bouncing your fucking ideas off me. I'm sitting here doing all the work, and every time I get to the question that's going to expose the problem from you, you deflect and go somewhere else. That is not honest argumentation. Here are two numbers, 2/3 and 1/3. It is true that neither of them can be represented as a decimal. It repeats forever. You are saying that merely looking at 2/3 would lead someone to conclude that that is the number of the beast, and that merely looking at 1/3 would not lead someone to conclude that it is the number of the beast. Why?
Well, I received a beep.
I asked, why are you saying that 666 is the number of the beast and 666 repeating is the number of the beast and 333 is not the number of the beast? When the reason that you gave is true for both of them. What's special about 0.66666 repeating that makes it the number of beast and not 0.333 repeating?
Yeah, like I said, Matt, I'm looking for the answers as well. I believe the numbers are related, and in the Bible,
yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm looking for the answers as well. Answer my question, or say I do not have an answer to that question. That's there are only two sets of words that can come out of your mouth right now. One is, I do not have an answer to that question. And the other one is, I have an answer to the question, and it is this. Anything else, and I'm hanging up.
I do not have an answer to that.
Oh, sorry. You started with
Bummer. By the way, to anybody watching, it is absolutely the case that 9 repeating is equal to 1. And
okay, so that was the end of the conversation. Obviously, it was going nowhere. Matt, I think, quite rightly indicated that it looked more like a sort of because his argument was that mathematically 666 couldn't be represented as a decimal, and he had no other reason for singling out 666. Matt quite rightly pointed to 333, which in principle is exactly the same. And unless you could say specifically why 666 is particular mathematically, then I don't see any justification for saying that it had to be 666 and it couldn't have been another number, which makes it look almost arbitrary, but not quite. So Revelation chapter 13. So there was a dragon on the shore. Obviously, a lot of you know this chapter. There was a beast that came out with 10 horns, and it had 10 crowns, etc., etc. And then a second beast appeared. This is really the significant one in regards to the number. And it was decreed such that everybody had to have, everybody on the planet, slave, master, everybody, free persons, rich and poor, had to have the mark of the beast either on their foreheads or their right hands, or they couldn't trade, they could not integrate economically in society. Now, I know a lot of conspiracy theorists have been talking about this and saying that it foretells what the likes of Bill Gates and others want to do, you know, the New World Order. They want to put a chip inside everybody, and you could only trade through having this chip implanted into you, which will also be a method of control. That's another topic entirely. But I take Matt's point that the case was not proven, but, you know, even if it was proven that 666 somehow was special mathematically in a way that 333 couldn't be, I don't really get the connection. I'm not really brilliant at numerology and the Bible. I don't really get how that lends any credence to there being a real beast, or that there could be a real beast. So that's about it, really. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested in this kind of thing with the Bible, and I find the Bible much more interesting than the Quran. Revelation is an amazing book, and this number of the beast is something which I included in a poll today. When this came up, I thought I'll just test it to see how many of you regard it as a superstitious number, and I invented a poll question, namely that if there's a house for sale, your dream house, everything about it's perfect, the price and everything, the location, except that the street number is 666, would it stop you from buying it? And I think so far, well, surprise, surprise, it's an atheist channel. Only about maybe 2% have said it would stop them from buying it. And I guess that those would probably be Christians, and the rest, it wouldn't be a problem for me. So yeah, that's about it. So just a reminder, Clubhouse tomorrow night, 10 o'clock UK time. I did another video all about Clubhouse. If you need to know my username so you can hook up with me on Clubhouse, you can go to that video and have a look at it. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that call. Do leave some comments about the numerology side of it. I'd be really interested to know what you've got to say. And I would say Matt didn't quite go into beast mode there. It's quite ironic that, yeah, well, he sort of went into beast mode at the end. And it's ironic that we're talking about the number of the beast and Matt sort of went into beast mode. So that was sort of quite an amusing irony. Okay, bye for now.